down. I don't think there is a Constitution has raised an important point. That important point will be handled by the House leadership. I don't think it has to be handled now. Yeah. So the next, Senator Onyonka, please. I suggest, I think, okay.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, I hope that my colleagues realize that the Constitution we have is actually a cut and paste from the US Constitution. And I am hoping that they're prepared to realize that in the US Constitution, you can actually have a government shutdown if there is no negotiated agreement on what we are going to do. So I would want, because that has never happened, I think we need to start thinking about the precedent of such an exercise. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Such an exercise. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay, next order, please.
First reading. A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the additional allocations to county governments for the 2026-2027 financial year, the responsibilities of the national government and county governments pursuant to such allocation and for connected purposes. Order number 10, the Artificial Intelligence Bill, Senate Bills number 4 of 2026, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the connected purposes. Order number 11, the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 5. Order number 11, the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2026, compliance with the 2/3 principle and the consideration of persons living with disabilities in the appointment of County Executive Committee members and for connected purposes. Order number 12, motion, implementation of recommendations by select committees on county public accounts and county public investment and special funds on Auditor General reports for financial year 2024-2025, resumption of debate.
Senator Eddie Okech, you had 3 minutes left. Why don't you come to the front? Oh, okay. It's not. It's okay. Proceed.
I hope my time is still.
Please give him the mic. You have it.
Now I have them discussing the agenda of why governors don't want to come to this house and the consequences. This as in terms of our mandate and our role to send money to the counties, as well as to do our role in terms of being the watchdogs for the counties. And Madam Speaker, I like the fact that all the senators that I've seen in this house, majority of us, in fact almost all of us, do not do oversight in funerals. We do not do our oversight roles in functions in the villages. We do our oversight roles professionally in this house so that our accountability does not.
Work today is broken. We're all working in too many disconnected apps, and it's killing team productivity. But for the first time, there's
house by all the honorable senators of this house make us more honorable than governors. But that is not to say that we cannot be able to hold these governors accountable. And in that context, Madam Speaker, for instance, in the case of Migori County has indicated the following. Is it right that my governor would refuse to come before PAC in the pretext and in the context of as indicated in her report, that there is a laboratory that was supposed to build for a dispensary in Nyamekongoroto in Kuria. And the governor of Migori did not do the job. I was asking my governor, Governor Ochila Yako, is it okay as a country that they don't appear before the Senate to answer this? Madam Speaker, further, there was a maternity ward. You know how our women have suffered in this country. In a place called Nyamotembe Dispensary. This also is in Kuria. That the Auditor General report that is before you that were tabled in this house yesterday says that there was a use of 3.8 million shillings to build that particular ward. And the Auditor General went there. The money, is it right for my governor not to appear before the committee of this house to answer to this money? Madam Speaker, there is a laboratory also for a healthcare center in Getabwanga Health Center in Kuria again, that the governor planned 1.5 million. And the Auditor General says the money was used and the ward was not built. The laboratory was not built. I am asking this honorable house and the nation, is it okay for the governor? Madam Speaker, I am still on the report before you in this house. There is a market shade in Gupimo that the governor spent 2.7 million and it paid some constructors, but the shade was not built according to the Auditor General.
Okech, your time is over. Senator Wakili, we have a
Just
malfunction.
30 seconds.
No, we have a malfunction. Finish with the 30 seconds, and Wakili, you'll be next.
So I was just tying with that question on Gupimo market that 2.7 million was lost. As I'm still asking, is it fair for the governor to show up? And I want to say, Madam Speaker, the country must understand that the Senate is not witch-hunting the governors. We are taking a fiduciary responsibility and accountability path to all our governors, and they will not waste the people's money. We have decided as a Senate that we are coming for the governors to make sure that they account for all these monies. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank you. We're struggling with this system. The other day, Madam Speaker, we had a concern raised before the House Business Committee on the malfunctioning of the system, and that is the experience that we have had from the time we started. But nonetheless, we have got important business to deal with. I want, Madam Speaker, from the we did yesterday, and today in terms of enhancing the oversight role of this House. And Madam Speaker, I do recall that previously we have equally prosecuted a motion that required all paid out. That has never been implemented. Madam Speaker, they have refused to appear before this House. The drama that we experienced yesterday is that of a thief making every effort to paint the person trying to expose them as a wrong or on the wrong. Madam Speaker, a thief is a thief. Whether you've stolen diamond or whether you've stolen avocado seedlings that Professor Barchok of Bomet takes from Flocker Investments. So we need to call them by their names. And when the Auditor General gives us a report, I want to thank of those governors who appeared or who didn't appear before the committee for implementation. And some of them, Madam Speaker, taking pride on their appearance, including my governor, appearing before the committee to ask for an excuse and more time to go and explain and get documentation is not proper appearance, does not take away the responsibility that the Auditor General has given on the money stolen.
I am busy enough, and my boss thinks I can handle training a new hire.
You obviously haven't heard of Scribe, have you?
Scribe?
It's a tool that records your tasks as you're doing them and uses AI to create detailed tutorials.
Breathing over my shoulder, asking hundreds of questions.
Scribe.com.
Enemies of development, immediately they get the resources. I want to agree that the resolution this motion is seeking, including the tracking of the implementation of the resolutions of the Auditor General's report, must be done, and must be done whether it's in this House or other government agencies, including the Office of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, where most of the problems that we have, in fact, is domiciled from. Madam Speaker, I am still having a matter pending before the same institution, and we are saying that as a House, we must ensure that the collaboration mechanism that we put in place, whether in terms of fast tracking, whether in terms of calling out those officials who are delaying prosecution of these cases, whether it's the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission or the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, we need to call them to order so that we kill this monster called corruption. As a House, we've done our bit in making sure that the resources are put in place, sent out to the county governments, but we are not seeing the services to the people. And when we call upon the governors not before the committee are the ones that embarrasses some of them, including some who would not even want to read. Some of them claiming they are unable to read merely because the statements that have been placed before the Auditor General, before the committee, do not make sense. And therefore, we say they must answer to the theft of public resources. Madam Speaker, it doesn't make sense. For example, from the Auditor General's report, in the county government of Bomet, Professor Barchok takes Kenya shillings 119 million for casual employees whose records are not available. This money is taken by over 119 million, as reported by the Auditor General, has been siphoned from the public coffers. Do they want us to keep quiet when such amount of money have been lost? Madam Speaker, we took oath of office to protect devolution. We took an oath of office to make sure that services to the public are done by those who are relevant, and we must call them out. It does not make sense, Madam Speaker, where irregular payments of over 1,454 officers amounting to 50 million are paid outside the IPPG system. We can't keep quiet when this money is paid out through IPPG system, get our brothers and sisters, our sons and daughters who have gone to school to be employed, and they opt to pay outside the system because that is the only way they can siphon this money. Over and above that one, Madam Speaker, we have got the sailings which the Auditor General reported. As a matter of fact, the governor's residence, which had a sailing of 45 million Kenya shillings, right now, the report indicates that over 100 million Kenya shillings have been spent in building a governor's residence. Over 8 years ago, over 100 million have been spent, and the structure is still in a dilapidated state. The contract will not happen. This House will do that which the Constitution requires them. Madam Speaker, there is a lot. We've got over 25 ward offices which have been undergoing construction for the last 15 years since devolution began, and every financial year allocations are being made. The projects are never getting completed. As we speak right now, they are all stalled projects. Out of 25 wards in Bomet County, I think there are only 3 that are complete but have not been utilized. We can't keep quiet when public resources are being abused. We cannot keep quiet when we are watching money being stolen. And I like the fact that this House decided that if you fail to appear, let monies that are meant to go to those counties be stopped. Unfortunately, the public servers, but let us do this so that the public gets to know that we are not witch hunting on these governors. We're just telling them, be responsible because we have given you the resources. When Kenyans passed the Constitution in 2010, They did not do it in order to devolve, but they did not anticipate theft at the lowest level. They didn't anticipate governors who will be in office and who do not want to be asked to account for the resources which are sent from the national government to the county governments. It doesn't make sense that we are struggling right now. Out of the allocations to our counties, 50 to 60% of them have become employment bureaus. The amount of resources that goes into recurrent expenditure is over 50%, and the amount that goes to development is less than what the Constitution provides. We must, Madam Speaker, speak out this. We must call out those governors, not only based and specific to a number of these counties, and we must call them to book, and we must tell them, if it's about, for example, what Senator Osotsi, the chairperson of CPIC, the Bomet Water Services Company, Sewerage Company, is not a going concern. Madam Speaker, we appeared before them, the CEO of that institution and the CEO for water confirmed that it is no longer a going concern. Unfortunately, over 100 million Kenya shillings has already been budgeted for, allocated, and employees have not been paid their salaries. For the last 2 years, remittances have not been remitted, whether to NHIF or NSSF, yet these resources have already been budgeted for, have been allocated, and have been taken, of course, to the relevant accounts. But unfortunately, the county government, the governor and his cronies are the ones who are taking away. Apart from that, Madam Speaker, the law, all dispensaries that receives FIF resources remit back to the county government over 25% of the remittances. He appeared before the committee. He admitted that that was what they were doing and requested for more time to go and rectify. How can you rectify an illegality? This money gets back to the county coffers, and it is unknown what utilization that money is done. And therefore, they would not expect us to keep quiet when we are getting to know that these resources is going to individuals, is going to their friends, yet we don't have drugs in our dispensaries, employees have not been paid, the infrastructure in those dispensaries are terrible. Madam Speaker, there is a lot that we must speak about. ECD centers, where over 111 million Kenya shillings have been allocated and signed up with contractors, but a good number of them do not have documents of ownership. Where does 111 million go to, if not to the stomachs of this team? Where does over 115 million Kenya shillings that has not been issued, not because of anything, but because the contract on the part of the county government has not been honored? Yes, the money, 76 million, has already been set aside, and that is captured in the Auditor General's report. We therefore, Madam Speaker, cannot keep quiet and say we watch as they steal public resources. We must call them out. We must call them to order. And I support the motion that requires the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, this House, the Director of Public Prosecution, as well as other government institutions to pass under the Chapter 6 of the Constitution that this team of thieves are not fit to hold any public office in future. And even right now, Madam Speaker, I support and I thank the Honorable Senator Olekina, as well as the members that have come out to support this cause, because we are the ones who are giving them resources. We must speak out. We must tell Kenyans, we must tell the residents of our various counties that we send resources, but they are stolen. We send resources and few people steal that money for their own benefit, and they must therefore be called out so that they know they are being watched, and Kenyans will not tolerate that as much as they are saying we are embarrassing them. We will continue embarrassing them in this House, in other places where we will. And lastly, allow me, Madam Speaker, to just quote for them the fact that they might be thinking they have the resources right now to protect themselves, whether in court, whether to pay, and in their places. Madam Speaker, Alex Hayes says, theft may give you a momentary advantage, but karma will ensure that you pay the price. Whether they will survive right now when they're in office, the law will catch up with them and they'll pay the price for stealing public resources. Madam Speaker, I support.
Honorable Senators, we agreed yesterday that only those who had not spoken to the motion be given opportunity. So I'd like to ask those who have not spoken to be the ones to log in so that they are given the opportunity. Next person is Senator Khalwade.
No, I've not spoken on this matter. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the people of Laikipia, to the pain that they are going through under the hands of these governors.
Save time creating content and generate a high-quality clone of your voice with 11 Labs. Change the way you record.
The attempt by the Senator of Narok to put another layer of emphasis on the fact that governors must be accountable. That's all that we are saying. The discourse that has taken place from the drama which was there yesterday and now, and the members of the public, some of them are losing it. Forget about that drama. What we are talking about is accountability. Just like Parliament insists that the national executive should give the first charge on the consolidated fund for public debt, similarly, Senate is saying on pending bills, they should attract any other commitment on expenditure. And this is exactly what governors do not want. They want to run county governments like kiosks. They want to run them like personal accounts. They want to run them like the accounts they have opened for their children to pay their school fees, not caring where they get the money from that they put in the accounts that they've opened in the names of their children. And Madam Speaker, so that I do not lose track, let me appeal to the people of Kakamega. People of Kakamega understand the Public Accounts Committee. Governor Barasa is lucky I don't sit there. If I was sitting there, I would have added more oomph into what they did to him when he came and they found he had fallen short of the glory. People of Kakamega, why Governor Barasa should be forced and be frog-marched to Nairobi is for the following reasons. So that the people of Malaba can be to dairy factory where we had 78 high-grade dairy cows. He should come and tell us what happened to the 100 million. He should come and tell us how did the animals drop from 78 to today 17 animals. These people come in the night, some agents of the governor, and they walk away with the cows belonging to the public. They are cattle thieves. Want Governor Barasa to tell them what happened to the 250 million shillings that in the books indicates that it was put on the Butali Malekha Road. The road is there looking like the bald head of people of Mumias West and the people of Matungu want to hear Barasa explain what happened to the 400 million plus which he put for the construction of the road from Mumias town through Mwiboma, through Matawa, through Lureko, all the way up in Dangalasia. They want to be told because the money has been spent in the books, the road is not there on the ground. This is what we are talking about. The people of Matungu want Barasa to tell the country what happened to the millions, hundreds of them, 6 crores all the way to Malaha. They want to be told. Instead, the road is not there, apart from Senator Sifuna, 3.5 kilometers to the governor's gate. And the 600 million shillings is gone. This is what the Public Accounts Committee is talking about. You must forgive young Sifuna and young Okech for being energetic and moving the way they moved yesterday. It was the collective anger. The collective anger of this house. It was not that they wanted to, for which you can assault him. I mean, what does he have apart from those vehicles which he acquired the other day after looting the county treasury? I mean, if Senator Sifuna wanted to commit a robbery with violence, he wouldn't go to Samburu. He would go to the central bank where the real money is, Madam Speaker. Nobody should sympathize with these people. We must insist that accountability must be the order of the day. What's more, Madam Speaker, I want to appeal to the people of Shinyalu watching these proceedings that the reason why Governor Barasa must be brought here is to explain why today Shiamahubu Hospital, despite the hundreds of million shillings that have been pumped into it, 4 years since Governor Barasa went into office, they are yet to open the gates. And the money has been spent. The people of Ekolomani, 120 million that was there for completion of the section from Eregi to cross River Lukose so as to come to Bushiangala to do that bridge, where the money went to. It is what we are talking about. And we are not about to keep quiet. If we don't do this, then the drama that the governor of Nairobi was trying to bring here, and I'm glad that Senator Sifuna out for the people of Nairobi to realize that it was nothing personal. You know, recently, because Sifuna has become Sisi Sifuna, people think he's doing things for other reasons. No. He is discharging on this one his mandate. Whether he's a two-term or one-term person is not the issue. The issue is about accountability. Mr. Speaker, the way you're looking at me is like it's a crime to say two-term. The people who are saying two-term, they are saying, and therefore he should be relieved of the burden. All democratic positions. So how you criminalize it and you end up tear-gassing politicians when they are articulating serious national issues like one term, it beats my logic. Completely, it beats my logic. You shouldn't. Why tear gas them? Why? For what reason? In fact, when Moi arrested me as a young, dashing doctor because of my conscience, I look back and I say, probably Moi would have killed us if he was having the kind of bad and attitude. But the guy used to lock us. He locked me up. He locked Richard Onyonka. And we have lived. Yes. Now they are using bullets, and we would have thought there would be rubber bullets. They are using live rounds. And Murkomen is there, shouting, shoot to kill. Honorable Nelson Koech from Belgut is there, shouting, shoot to kill. And the president is saying, shoot in the leg. Really? And senior citizens of the country, we fear nothing. We are saying that God has given us beautiful children, some of them to tell in public gallery.
Senator Halwale, your time is up. The way I looked at you was to tell you that besides two-term and one-term, there is also long-term, and there is no term. So it wasn't anything to communicate other than to tell you even half-term is existing. Thank you, Senator Halwale. I'll ask Senator Muma to give her contributions.
Thank you. Thank you, Speaker, for the opportunity to speak to this motion. And thank you, Senator Ledama, for moving this motion, which I support, and with amendments. I don't know whether we can amend. Honorable, kill this country. The senators are angry because of lawlessness. The PAC and PIC have carried out their task in accordance with the Constitution, but the governors think this is a joke. The governors think they are so much above the law that they cannot subject themselves to what the law requires. And I think that is bad. So the key issue here is lawlessness. What are we supposed to do about lawless public servants, lawless state officers? The Senate should proceed, as we earlier were told by Senator Khalwale, or their constitutional timelines. I think the country will collapse if we don't pass this division of revenue. We need to start asking our these questions seriously. And that lawlessness applies to everybody, including the Senate.
Easter ni time ya kuconnect na watu wako. Usikose for Jumia has the lowest prices in the market. Kama una host, check Jumia. Kama ni sherehe, check Jumia. Download the Jumia app and get the lowest prices.
That we are at that stage where we are speaking at each other instead of speaking with each other to try and bring back devolution on course. The reports submitted by the two committees, CPAC and CPIC, it's unfortunate that they were just submitted on a day and there was hardly any time to speak on it. If you ask me, Honorable Speaker, this House should have had ample time, possibly the counties that whose governors have refused to appear before the committees. That is the only way that the citizens in those counties get to hear what is in those reports. In this time of 10 minutes, we are just speaking in anger because of how they have behaved. But there is a serious accountability issue. I find it sad, honorable senators, that county public servants are being taken for a ride. Their statutory deductions have been squandered. Citizens, I think we are in a bad place as a country. That you can consciously direct that statutory deductions be deployed to other things, be squandered, is a big problem for this country. And it is something, it points to the fact that the governance has gone wrong in Kenya and we need to do something about it. Now, the motion has proposed a number of things, and that's where I think we might want to relook and think of amendments. In paragraph 1, Senator Ledama suggests that we should resolve progress reports detailing the compliance status. My view is that PIC and PAC, having been the ones who have picked these issues, should not be the ones moving for implementation. It has been suggested in this House several times that an implementation committee be established, but that has not happened. I think good governance would require that we get a committee that can actually follow up on implementation. And that committee, in my view, should develop a tool that we can use to track implementation. And that implements, it should also be implementation by the EACC, by the DCI, by the ODPP, so that there is a round table of holding every institution accountable on what they are supposed to do. That is not happening anywhere, so whoever is concerned know that they can do what they will get away with this. We need this House, 13 years after the devolution was operationalized, since 2023, this House need to do Kenyans a favor and actually develop a clear accountability tool with indicators which can publicly be accessible to wananchi to see if this was recommended. If we have recommended that all monies required for the pensions and gratuities of workers of the county should be remitted publicly and say, this county is compliant, this one is not compliant. But we are not doing anything about it. We only vent for that moment when we are angry and nothing happens around that. Honorable Speaker, pick and pack work on the basis of the reports of the Auditor General. And the reports of the Auditor General work on the basis of the functions that counties have elected to implement. Honorable Speaker, I sit in the Committee on Education, and I would want to inform this House that there are some functions that governors are doing nothing about. 13 years that every function assigned to counties under the 4th schedule is actually being implemented. Those of you who sit in the Committee on Education will attest to the fact that we have gone to some counties and the governor doesn't seem to have a clue on what they're supposed to do about ECDE. We have found counties that have invested zero in TVCs. We have counties that don't even know the percentage of the population of learners in their counties who are not in national government tertiary institutions and who are in the VTCs. The VTCs have a very small enrollment because they give county funds to schools where even MPs are giving bursaries, where you have many scholarships, and they are doing nothing about the very function they have been given. So I am suggesting that accountability based on only the financial audit of where the governors have deployed the monies is not full accountability. We need to come up with tools that can actually tell the residents of Vihiga, the residents of Tana River, that your governor or your government has been implementing these functions, has been doing nothing about this function. I think that is what we were established to do. So as I finalize, I'm requesting that we find a way of getting the two entities to get back to business in accordance with the law. And I'm calling on Council of Governors to be humble enough to pass a resolution that you cannot appear. Please submit all the evidence you have against any senator and get that senator investigated. You cannot stop accountability of the funds that you're doing because you don't like the face of a particular senator or you don't like being called out in public. I want to request that the House leadership reaches out to the House leadership, to the leadership of the COG, so that we do what is right in accordance with the Constitution and the laws of this country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sifuna.
You know, Senator Muma, as part of the leadership of this House, Speaker, if you remember, before we went to Nakuru, the Speaker of this House issued a communication and said, yes, we can have conversations, but we cannot suspend constitutional imperatives. You continue appearing before the committee, and once that is done, in fact, a date was set. But I am telling you, Speaker, as I was saying earlier, this entire problem is a pointer to the total collapse of leadership at the COG. It is the chairperson of the COG who, would you believe it, Speaker, a member of the council, like a governor, would appear in parliament buildings, there where we hold our meetings, ready to appear before the public of parliament. I want to tell the country, the problem is the chair of the COG, Governor Jir. And I am ashamed because he's a member of ODM, as is SG. Duel that people want to see is not a physical duel. It is for you to come before the Public Accounts Committee and answer the questions that we as the Senate are going to ask you to answer. Mr. Speaker, we have just of late, this is a very recent development that the Senate has suddenly become a bad place. When we came to this House, in fact, it is this fourth Senate, Honorable Speaker, that for the first time pushed the amount of money that goes to counties under the shareable revenue across the 400 billion threshold. It had never been done. It is us. Mr. Speaker, when these governors want things, they look for us to be able to push for them. I was again embarrassed to see the COG sitting in this chamber before our finance committee chaired by Senator Roper, coming to tell us to help them to push what the national government has proposed in this financial year from 420 to 450. In fact, Speaker, if you have noticed, these days I don't even talk about that 450 billion that I used to sing every day in that expired MOU. Because I'm asking myself, 450 billion to go to Governor Jir, 450 billion to go to Governor Jir, and these other governors who are buying supplements for wild animals. I am conflicted because I swore an oath to defend counties and their governments, but not these ones. Not these ones, Honorable Speaker. When they had a problem with RMLF and the National Assembly was refusing to release money for we were fighting for them. In fact, it is them who ran away. In fact, these governors, I am telling you, Speaker, there is a total collapse of leadership of the COG. They will come here when they have problems. We agree that because we are the devolution family, we will fight this fight together. When they are called somewhere behind the tent there, senators hanging there. Speaker, it is this house, it is the committee of the Public Accounts Committee that wrote off 16 billion Kenya shillings in pending bills from Nairobi County books. We sat down with the then Minister for Treasury at the onset of this house and the Comptroller of State House, and we told them in no uncertain terms that the bills that were incurred by NMS were not going to be paid by the county government of Nairobi. That was the Senate. That was Sifuna. That was the County Public Accounts Committee, Honorable Speaker. They came to us crying that because of late exchequer releases, when they delay in paying VAT and not VAT, payee remittances to KRA, there are penalties that are imposed on that late remittance. It was this committee called County Public Accounts Committee. It was Sifuna, because the problem is not originating from the county side, that because late exchequer releases are a reality. You cannot delay giving us money. Then when I delay remitting payee for my employees, you add a penalty on top. It was this house that they are now demonizing. Honorable Speaker, it is this house that they are demonizing that ensured that we passed a law here for financial assemblies with the famous Form C, Honorable Speaker. So we have done a lot of things. Speaker, there was the other one of, I think it was for shareable revenue. I've addressed that. There was a question of late exchequer releases. Speaker, whenever there is a delay, you will hear the national government saying, we are up to date. And yet the governors come to our committee and tell us, no, we are behind 3 months. This is the question. How is it possible that they only come to us when they want things? That we are only good people when we are pursuing what they consider their interests. But now, because we want to ask for accountability for the same amount that we fight for, they are demonizing us. Speaker, we were convinced this last financial year by the so-called small counties. I remember the small counties like Lamu introduced in the new formula an affirmative action amount. The only governor from those 13 counties who has appeared before us and actually has said thank you for the fight for devolution is the governor for Nyandarua. He is the only one. He is the only one. These other ones continue to insult us. Even up to today, they are still calling us names, Honorable Speaker. So we have told them that because we are also politicians, we can throw down. You know, these suits, Honorable Speaker, they are just clothes. Nobody should think that because Sifuna wears a suit every day, that in certain circumstances, if need be, I cannot throw around. I mean, they should not threaten us. So, what we were objecting to yesterday, and I want the country to understand this, you have a governor who you have given resources. The Constitution requires him to come and account for those resources. You have invited him once. You have invited him twice. You have invited him 3 times. You have issued summons to him. You have actually sent the police to look for him. He has refused to appear before the County Public Accounts Committee and before the Senate. Court, a live matter before the committee and a live arrest warrant. As a lawyer, I am telling you, as a lawyer, Mr. Speaker, I know you are my classmate. You know that it is the responsibility of everyone. If you know there is a thief who the chief is looking for, even in the village there, chief has put a notice saying, if you see this gentleman, you tell him we are looking for. I am available. We are going to do a schedule, Honorable Speaker, as we told this House, for the meetings of a Public Accounts Committee. I am available. We are going to do a schedule, Honorable Speaker, as we told this House, for the meetings of a Public Accounts Committee in accordance with this motion that has required us, Honorable Speaker, to enforce fiduciary accountability by resummoning non-compliant county governors, recommending sanctions for defiance, including budget withholding, which we are already doing, and escalating that job, whether you jump up, whether you run away.
Senator Sifuna, your time is up. Honorable Senators, before I allow more members to continue with their contribution to the motion, I have got communication to make on visiting delegation from the Kenyatta University. Senator Olekina, take the nearest seat. Thank you. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon visiting delegation from the Kenyatta University. The delegation comprises 33 students who are visiting the Senate for an academic tour. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish from the great county of Homa Bay. I cannot see the representation from Homa Bay. Senator Kajwang is not in the house, as well as Senator Beatrice, but Senator Okech, being the neighbor, I'll give you in under 1 minute to welcome the delegation from Kenyatta University.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. It actually gives me a lot of delight to see these wonderful young people, or younger people for this matter, given that I've been given this opportunity, coming to this house. Mr. Speaker, you know, during the study days, many people really struggles in different schools, waking up in the morning in what we used to call preps, and be able to study to the extent of making it wonderful senators. What we do to be able to contribute to the nation is even more beautiful. You have come here when we're discussing a very serious matter on the integrity of our governance, on the issue of accountability. And I think that as a country, if there's a generation that has given us hope more than even ourselves, is your generation. Because your generation is the generation that stood up against any issues of accountability of this country. And you said that your desire for this country is just to see a country that has got a sense of good governance. So you have found us when you're discussing a serious matter where governors don't want to account to the people of Kenya on the money that they are using. If there's anything you want to learn from this place, is that the voices that you have been putting outside there, demanding and clamoring for justice and accountability of the future here, I'm seeing among yourself President of the future, I'm seeing ministers, and I'm even seeing global business leaders among yourselves. My advice to you is work hard and never arrive, because what you're seeing here, you are the future leaders for our country, and you'll do better than us for sure. When we leave here, I would definitely want to come and have a chat with you guys. And because the house, you can see my leaders are here. The two leaders, Senator Ledama is here, who is my whip, and his deputy, Senator Sifuna. I would ask that they come also and greet you in a special way that we do in this house, that sometimes I don't have the powers to untie their shoes. They have got better ways of greeting you than myself. So when you leave, I'll make sure that I come with the two of them to say hi to you. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order, members. And Senator Eddy, you have caused the guests in the House to do what is not supposed to be done in chambers, clapping their hands. Senator Joyce Korir, it's your turn.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. for giving me this chance also to contribute and support a good neighbor of mine. Honorable Speaker, before I comment on this, allow me to first thank the committees of this House for the work that they are doing. And Honorable Speaker, I just want to commend them for the role that they are playing in terms of oversight. Honorable Speaker, as enshrined in the Constitution. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I have seen a lot of fights in the social media and even within this House. I just want to remind the Kenyans that, Honorable Speaker, the Committee on CPAC operates with other relevant oversight bodies, including the Controller of Budget, including the Auditor General, who gives us these reports. Honorable Speaker,
my work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done in a list view. Next, I set a priority and a due date to keep things on track. I create custom statuses to organize my progress exactly how I want it. I like to add the action items field so AI can show me the next steps. I add my teammates as watchers so they're in the loop. ClickUp makes work easy, from personal projects to running a multi-billion-dollar company. Click the link below to create your workspace for free.
The Senate is the consumer of the Auditor General's report. They speak based on the facts that have been collected at the grassroots level. Remember, Honorable Speaker, these resources goes to the grassroots. The projects that have been collected, the CIDP that was made, the CIDP has been made. They come now and do the annual budget. That is where these resources are budgeted for. As we speak now, Honorable Speaker, it is within our fingertips that these resources were supposed to do 1, 2, 3 things that members have raised in this House, which others have raised the figures in terms of budgets, others have misused in terms of appropriation, others have done things, Honorable Speaker, that they need answers. We need answers as a House, because at the end of the day, the governors fight day in, day out to make sure that there is increment in terms of revenues that are being given, or the share that is given by the national government to the county governments, Honorable Speaker. I want to say, Honorable Speaker, this is a constitutional issue, that it is always duty of each and every county to appear and respond to the issues, not issues that has been raised by the Senate, but the issues that has been raised by the Auditor General. Remember, Honorable Speaker, the fight that we are fighting is the monies that are meant to equip the hospitals, the monies that are meant to pay the workers that are working for these governors, the monies that are meant to do the roads, the monies that are meant, name it, Honorable Speaker. But because of the misuse by the relevant governors that have been mentioned, the 29 counties, and they have gone ahead to make sure that they don't want to appear before this House to answer these questions, because these are questions that we are raising on behalf of our counties, on behalf of our residents, on behalf of the Kenyans. Honorable Speaker, I also want to say this, that a number of amendments have been. How far have we gone since the inception of these county governments in terms of making sure that we put them to toss in responding to these issues that have been raised by the Controller of Budget or the Auditor General? Honorable Speaker, the Auditor has been raising this question. It has been deliberated in this floor of the House. It has been given to the relevant bodies. The bodies that has been responded to. I hope the clerks are not messing up me with the time. I'm also very observant, because you need to tell me how many minutes I've spoken. So don't do your things. Honorable Speaker, I want to say,
Senator Joyce,
yeah,
this system it counts on time. So
I understand.
You don't have to worry about
Yeah.
anything that's
Very
happening. The clerks are doing their job. You still have got 4 minutes and 4 seconds to conclude your submissions.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just wanted to remind them. Sometimes, yeah. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that there are a number of cases that have been raised since the inception of the county governments. We need to get the report as to where, to get the report on the answers pertaining the issues that were raised since the inceptions of this county government. Because, Honorable Speaker, we will be debating these things day in, day out, without relevant answers, Honorable Speaker. We need to get this. We need to move from here, Honorable Speaker. Say that is not be just, we are just debating because it's a debate. We are not in any competition from the citizens of this country. Must be put to use prudently. That is the issue, Honorable Speaker. So we need to know, Honorable Speaker, despite the fact that the committee has recommended that the relevant bodies should take lead in terms of making sure that...
Got a great business idea? Give it a domain name from GoDaddy. Every order comes with our effortless AI experience, GoDaddy Aero, which will generate a logo, landing page, and more for you in just a few clicks. With our award-winning support, it couldn't be easier to start an online business with us, which is why we're trusted by more than 20 million customers. Unlock your online potential today with GoDaddy.
Put to use prudently, Honorable Speaker. That is supposed to guide this House in terms of their oversight role, Honorable Speaker. So I just want to say that I commend the committee in terms of the way they are doing their things. It is their mandate. I don't want to read their mandate in the standing orders. It's known that it is their work. It is the work of this committee to make sure that the report of the Auditor General is implemented to the letter in terms of making sure that they give answers as to why a number of projects are exaggerated, a number of projects are white elephant within the villages, a number of projects cannot be accounted for, Honorable Speaker. So I just want to support the committee and to say that job well done, continue doing your work. That is the work of this House. We are always there to stand with you, and we want to say that the governors must give an answer to this House on the issues of the resources that we are giving them. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
How you see, Senator Joyce Corrido, you're just worried. You did not fully utilize your minutes. And I will donate that to Senator Onyonka, whom I'm giving the opportunity to speak to this motion right away.
Mr. Speaker, first of all, before I say anything, I would like to request to move a motion to amend certain words within the motion that Honorable Ekina had laid on the table. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I request to move the motion to be amended by deleting the word select committees on CPAC and CPI, deleting the word select committees on CPAC and CPI and SF immediately, quote unquote, appearing in paragraph 5 of the motion, and substituting with the words to establish an ad hoc committee comprising of 15 senators, quote, close the quote, blah, blah, and a report to the Senate within 90 days from its establishment. Mr. Speaker, it is a very interesting day for me today. At a personal level, it's really something that I kind of been wanting to have an opportunity to discuss. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I have looked at the audited accounts of Kisii County. And that is the county that I represent. And some of the things you see in the Kisii County report, they are just astounding as they are shocking. And I know that this is not just happening within Kisii County. Apparently, Mr. Speaker, all governors once they take over power, they behave the same. And I have been really observing what they do. Number one, they make sure they look for a way to control the members of the county assembly. Number two, they then immediately county when the governor who was there before them was there. And that goes into some of them deliberately trying to disband the public service board, some of them doing cross-transferred, even some of the individuals within the county system, whether it's health, whether it's road construction, and even if these people were trained and they received executive training so that they could produce the results were expected, they're immediately transferred because they are not behaving nicely. Mr. Speaker, if you look at all our county governments, none of them has ever done, and I would like to see which one has, and I will give them recommendations for an A. Many of the county governments, close to out of the total number of workers in the county system who are either permanent and pensionable or temporary workers. And some of these, Mr. Speaker, the reason why, and I want to tell my colleagues here, is because many of our colleagues, the governors who are saying how this house is useless and in fact we have no business talking to them, are the ones who have been keeping those lists where they are having the lists manual and they are paying a wage bill of about 40 to 50 million a month. That money is what is the cash cow and is the kitty that is supposed to be utilized to do politics. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the...
Design the perfect voice for your brand with 11 Labs. Change the way you record podcasts, voiceovers, and branded content with the #1 AI-powered recording Take After Take. Try 11 Labs for free and start elevating your content today.
Knows the executive who is paid first, and those are the people who receive the best jobs in the county governments. As a result, like in Kisii County, our pending bills when I was elected 4 years ago were actually 1.2 billion. Up to now, close to 700, 800 million has been paid out as pending bills money. But Kisii again has incurred an extra pending bill of 1 billion shillings. So these are the issues that I think we need to talk about. You look at the own source revenue, how much money are county governments collecting. Some of them had wanted to use KRA. They don't. They must get a company which comes up and works, and that company is the one which kickbacks are exchanged, and that is where they share the money, Mr. Speaker. The truth and the reality is that now we are the highest taxers. We are the people who tax most, our sick people. The FIF funds which are supposed to be generated within our health facilities in our counties, which were never meant for profit making. Now those funds are actually kept. Most of them are collected manually. Some very good counties have gone the electronic way, and we give them appreciation. We have seen what they are doing, but many of our friends in this sector are actually taking FIF funds, and they are the funds which they are, and is supposed to be doing the work of constructing the facilities that were supposed to be for industrial. There's a word we use, Mr. Speaker, I can't remember it right now. The company that was given that tender without any procurement was paid in advance 475 million. And the building that they were doing, Mr. Speaker, is on first, I think on second floor. And that building is supposed to be building the governor's office. The governor of Kisii already has an office. The county assembly were the ones missing a few blocks, maybe one block, and they would have most probably been fitted into those offices. We are at 450 and we are not done yet. Mr. Speaker, when you look at procurement laws, you gentlemen, you saw the other day, my governor brilliantly came out and displayed all those machines saying how he's going to do fantastic roads. The truth is, those machines, nobody knows who the owner is. The company that is supposed to do roads in my county, nobody knows who he is. And the employees who are supposed to work, nobody knows whether they're private or they are going to be workers of the county government. And as we speak, nobody has seen a single discussion, a single agreement, seen what the county government and this PPP outfit signed. And the truth, when you listen to all the contractors and people who machinery and equipment worth $1 billion shillings. And yet, Mr. Speaker, the amount of money that was in the budget to purchase those machines was 200 million, which means Kisii County again has now created another pending bill. Then you come where lawyers are having cases, and those cases are won by the litigants, and the county government doesn't go for appeal, and their fees increase from 2.1 million to 7.9 million because the county refused not to pay the litigants, and as a result, there are 3-4 cases like that. And you look at the whole audit report, 375 million, which cannot be accounted completely on money used for fueling machines and equipment of the county government. There is a section where we are also discussing about 48 million which has been used for fuel and lubricants. If you look at the total number of vehicles that the county government has got, fuel and lubricants, if members of this office, this house, could sit down and calculate what 48 million can buy in fuel in a year, so that we are able to know how many vehicles you need to have, which kilometers are being run, and as if we are going to fuel all these vehicles which the governor is running from. Of course, some governors think they're president, so they are running around and going to functions and rallies. Finally, Mr. Speaker, what do we do? Suggestions. I know many of us are always criticized that we never give solutions. We need to get out of this building and go and visit these counties, because the dirt and the stuff going on, we must be able to visit. We must make sure that we give master and clout to the EACC if it means we create an independent arm that is going to monitor and audit and look at the criminality going on with all our counties. We can do that. The systems must be made.
When two companies merge, you end up with two ways of doing the same work and a lot of training docs no one fully trusts. Here's what most teams miss: the way work actually gets done. Those processes live in people's heads. You wouldn't merge two companies without aligning the numbers. So why build the future without aligning how the work actually gets done? That's where Scribe comes in. Scribe captures the workflow as someone does it. Aren't guessing where to click. They're guided through the process in real time. And the guides live where your teams already work. So training happens in a flow of work, not in a folder no one opens. If your teams are still guessing how to use the new tools after a merger, click the link and see how Scribe could help.
Countries that have that stone. And yet, we sell that to the Chinese. We are cutting trees, Homa Bay, South Nyanza, and Kisii County, where the Chinese are crushing our timber and they're picking it, putting it in trucks, and these trucks are sending the timber to China. Then it is brought to look like what we have here. You think the timber is natural, and yet it's just been doctored. And you know what? We are deforesting unbelievably. Soon, Kisii is going to become a desert. These are the issues. Our governors don't do public hearings. They don't consult anybody. They don't ask anybody, even when they're doing anything. When we begin to talk about oversight, they say we are extorting them. They say we are petty. They say we want their money. And we have been telling them we no longer admire money that is stolen. Devolution is high, is rated, is evaluated, and for the last 15 years, what is it that we have done that has changed the lives of our people? That is why our youth are getting angry with us, because they believe all of us are thieves, and all of us basically steal their futures. Mr. Speaker, I want to beg to this House, this is the best opportunity we have to sort out the mess we have created. Let us look at the structures. Let us look at the consolidated fund. What it requires for us to straighten the financials, so be it. You find governors who are not giving the statutory payments. My county, Kisii, cannot pay KRA 36 million. 36 million. You have people who are supposed to be given gratuity. They are not being paid. And it's not just Kisii only. It is this republic. Can you imagine we who work in this house going home after we have finished our 1, 2, 3 terms, and you are told that Parliament cannot pay your gratuity? How would you feel? Money that was picked from NHHF, NHIF, NSSF, all those deductions were picked by the governor.
To amend in 15 seconds. I'll give you 30 seconds so that you conclude and move.
Mr. Speaker, I request to move the motion to amend by A, deleting the words select committees on CPAC and CPI and SF immediately, appearing in paragraph 5 of the motion, and substituting with the words to establish an ad hoc committee comprising of 15 senators. B, inserting a new resolution after the resolution listed on number 4, submit a final report to the Senate within 90 days of this establishment. To finalize, Mr. Speaker, you notice when one governor does something, everybody does it. They started packaging milk. Instead of them even having the audacity to buy the milk locally, they go and get powdered on their ugly pictures so that the children can love them as they die. This House has a responsibility to change that history, because I think we are better than many of these people think we are. I say thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Who is seconding your proposal to amend the motion? Senator Onyonga, you are a seasoned legislator. You know what to do. You don't expect the chair to direct you exactly, even on that particular aspect of.
I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, I was emotional with myself. I apologize.
Accepted.
Thank you. Ati?
Senator Kinyua.
Yeah, I therefore ask Senator Kinyua to second. I'm sorry about that.
Senator Kinyua.
Asante, Bwana Spika. Naunga mkono marekebisho ya mswada kama yalivyopendekezwa na Senator wa Kisii, Senator Richard Onyonka. Bwana Spika, kuanzia mwanzo nataka kusema ya kwamba hatupaswi kurudi nyuma sisi kama seneti baada ya sisi kupitisha jambo. Jana, Bwana Spika, tulipitisha ya kwamba tutashughulikia mswada yoyote ambayo utakuwa ukipeleka hela katika gatuzi zetu. Bwana Spika, lakini nimesikia kwa muda mchache uliopita kuna sheria ambazo tutakuwa tumezivunja. Bwana Spika, nataka kusema la, kwa sababu tukipitisha jambo lolote hapa tunapaswa kulifuatilia, kwa sababu hilo ndio jambo la manufaa kwetu. Bwana Spika, kwanza nipongeze kamati ambayo imeshughulikia na kuleta ripoti hapa, na vile vile nimpongeze senator wa. Bwana Spika, katika kaunti ya Laikipia, hela ambazo zinapaswa kuwa zikileta maendeleo, Bwana Spika, ni chache mno. Hela nyingi, 55% ya hela ambazo zinaenda Laikipia, Bwana Spika, zinatumika kwa kulipa mishahara. Bwana Spika, hii ni kinyume na katiba yetu, kwa sababu inasema hela ambazo zinapaswa kutumika katika mishahara ni 35%. Bwana Spika, gatuzi ya Laikipia imekuwa ni kama ofisi ya malipo ya mishahara. Kwa hivyo unapata mambo mengi hayatendeki Laikipia, Bwana Spika. Ukiangalia na magavana wanapaswa wawajibike, Bwana Spika, kwa sababu ukiangalia kama ni wanafunzi wa shule za chekechea, Bwana Spika, wale wanafunzi, zile shule ambazo wako nazo, majengo yako katika hali duni, Bwana Spika, kwa sababu bajeti iliyoko katika masomo ya chekechea ni kiwango cha chini sana, Bwana Spika. Vile vile watoto wa zile shule hawapati mankuli kama vile ambavyo imeidhinishwa katika kuwa kipewa chakula katika shule pale wanapoenda katika masomo yao. Lakini Bwana Spika, hiyo haifanyiki. Unapata hela nyingi zimechukuliwa na zitumiwa kupeana basari, na hayo sio majukumu ya gatuzi zetu, Bwana Spika. Hayo ni majukumu ya serikali ya kitaifa. Kwa hivyo hapo tunaona magavana wanazembea katika kazi yao, badala ya wao wachangamkie kazi ambayo wamepewa kikatiba huwa anaifanya. Bwana Spika, madeni ambayo wanakandarasi wanapaswa katika mabenki, unapata mtu anafuatiliwa na benki, yeye alipe loan ambazo amekuwa akichukua katika banki, lakini hawezi akalipa kwa sababu gatuzi zetu hazilipi madeni. Na inajulikana wazi katika katiba ya Kenya inasema ya kwamba jambo la kwanza kulipwa ni madeni ambayo watu walionayo, iwe ni serikali kuu, iwe ni serikali ya gatuzi, Bwana Spika. Lakini gatuzi ya Laikipia unapata watu sasa hawalipi pesa zao, wengine tayari wamekufa, wengine tayari wanataka kujinyonga, Bwana Spika, baada ya kuchukua mikopo, Bwana Spika, waweze kufanya kazi katika gatuzi zetu. Lakini baada ya wao kuchukua mikopo na kufanya kazi katika zile gatuzi hawalipwi, Bwana Spika. Cherargei anajua vizuri, hata ukienda Nandi shida ni ile ile, ukienda Kakamega shida ni ile ile, Laikipia shida ni hiyo hiyo, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo tunaambia magavana wawajibike na waweze kulipa madeni. Jambo lingine, Bwana Spika, ukitembelea katika gatuzi ya Laikipia, tayari tunapoongea na wewe wauguzi wamegoma. Kisa na maana, hela zao hawajalipwa. Mishahara ambayo ilipendekezwa na kamati ambayo inahusika za pesa. Lakini Bwana Spika, hawajapewa zile hela ambazo wanapaswa kuwa akipewa. Wamekuwa katika vile viwango, badala wao kupandishwa madaraka, unapata mtu ameishi katika kile kiwango kwa muda mrefu. Bwana Spika, hiyo ndio inaleta ule mgogoro katika gatuzi yetu, alafu unapata wale wauguzi wamegoma. Ende Kinamba, Bwana Spika, unapata hospitali hazina dawa. Hospitali hazina dawa. Watu wanaenda wanaandikiwa dawa, alafu wanaambiwa waende nje katika chemist zilizo karibu, waende wakanunue huko dawa. Bwana Spika, ilhali hapa katika seneti hii, nakumbuka nataka kushukuru maseneta Cherargei pamoja na seneta wa Bungoma Kiranja walio wengi. Walisukuma sana kusema ya kwamba walisukuma sana na kusema ya kwamba hela ziongezewe kaunti ndogo. Laikipia tukaongezewa milioni, alikuwa katika mstari wa mbele kusukuma, na tukaongeza zile hela, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo tunapaswa tuone dawa hospitalini, Bwana Spika, na si dawa peke yake, tunapaswa tuone vifaa vinavyohitajika katika hospitali zikiwa pale hospitalini, Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, ukiangalia mambo ambayo yamekuwa yakifanyika Laikipia, bei ya maji, Bwana Spika, ukiangalia katika ripoti iliyoletwa, bei ya maji Laikipia, Bwana Spika, iko juu sana. Kila mahali ukienda Laikipia, bei ya maji iko juu. Bwana Spika, inakuwa ni rahisi kuoga na maziwa Laikipia. Sisi hapa seneti tumechangamkia na tumepigana vita vikali pesa ziweze kuongezwa. Lakini hawa magavana wakiambiwa wawajibike, Bwana Spika, na kamati ya ukaguzi wa fedha inayoongozwa na Seneta Kajwang', wanaanza kucheza mchezo unaofanywa hapa mjini. Mwizi akipatikana anasema yule mwingine ni mwizi. Wameanza kusema Seneta Kajwang', Seneta Sifuna, Seneta Cherargei na Seneta Mwaru hawezi kuitisha chochote. Ni mtu ambaye ametosheka na hela ambazo analipa katika seneti hii. Kwa hivyo hawa watu ambao wanaibia wananchi wa Kenya pesa zao, kamati ambayo inahusika wasilegeze kamba, na hao maseneta hawapaswi kuondolewa katika ile kamati.
Senator Kinyua, do you want to be
nataka kufahamishwa na ndugu yangu, lakini muda wangu usimamishwe.
That will eat into your time, Senator Kinyua, you know that. Proceed, Senator Cherargei, to inform Senator Kinyua.
Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa kumjulisha ndugu yangu Senator wa Laikipia ambaye ameongea Kiswahili sanifu sana, ya kwamba sisi kama kamati ya ukaguzi wa fedha za counties, Mheshimiwa Spika, huwa tunaitisha stakabadhi za ukaguzi. Hatuitishi mambo mengi. Nafikiri hiyo imekuwa wazi, Mheshimiwa.
Fanya wakitumia ile lugha wakitumia stakabadhi ambazo zinapaswa kuwa zikitumiwa. Bwana Spika, vile vile ukiangalia katika ukitembelea makafani ya Laikipia na Nyuki na Nyahururu iko katika hali mbaya sana. Kwa hivyo gavana anapaswa kuwa akiwajibika na kuangalia kwamba makafani yetu yako katika hali ambayo inapaswa kuwa. Bwana Spika, vile vile serikali kuu inapaswa iwajibike kwa sababu Laikipia tayari katika zile sehemu tulizotenga ama shamba tuliotenga. Sisi Laikipia tulitoa milioni 250, lakini serikali kuu inapaswa iwajibike iweze kupatia gatuzi ya Laikipia, serikali ya Laikipia milioni 250 ndio tuweze kutengeneza vile viwanda na vile vile hizi biashara ndogo ndogo ziweze kunawiri. Kwa sababu tayari Bwana Spika tumeweka kusema ya kwamba tuwe na kamati maalum, kamati ambayo itajumuisha maseneta 15 ndio waweze kuangazia vizuri kutekelezwa kwa haya mapendekezo ambayo yamependekezwa na hizi kamati, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo mimi naunga mkono mswada na marekebisho haya yaliyoletwa, kwa sababu Bwana Spika, itajulikana ya kwamba kamati ambazo zimeshughulikia haya mambo itakuwa ni vigumu tena kwa sana kuweza kufuatilia kutekeleza kwa yale mapendekezo ambayo yameletwa. Kwa hivyo hii kamati ya maseneta 15 nataka kuambia kwamba hata wao watajipata katika hali hiyo hiyo maseneta, akina seneta Sifuna, akina seneta Cherargei waliojipata, ikiwa
Senator Kinyo, your time is up. You've seconded. Now, Honorable Senators, I wish to propose the question that the motion be amended A, by deleting the words select committees on CPAC and CPI and SF immediately appearing in paragraph 5 of the motion and substituting B, inserting a new resolution after the resolution listed at number 4, submit a final report to the Senate within 90 days from its establishment. Now, Honorable Senators, you will appreciate that this is a motion which was moved. The proposal to amend is on 2 items. Substantively, the motion is not being amended other than with regards to the resolutions being sought. And it is now available for you to debate whether you agree with the proposals to amend the motion as proposed or otherwise. I have Senator Wafula.
Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa nafasi hii ili niweze kuchangia katika hoja ama mchakato wa uwajibikaji katika counties za humu nchini, na jinsi wenzangu wamedhihirisha kwamba
Work today is broken. We're all working in too many disconnected apps, and it's killing team productivity. But for the first time, there's a platform that fixes it by combining everything you need: projects, chat, and knowledge in one place. It's all powered by the world's most complete work, AI, so you can find answers from anywhere and get work done faster. Introducing ClickUp, the everything app for work.
Vitabu na hesabu gushi ili mdadisi wa hesabu aweze kukosa kupata ukweli. Mheshimiwa Spika, nakumbuka nilikuona kule nyanjani ukifanya ukaguzi wa miradi ya maendeleo katika vyuo vya chekechea. Hii ni ishara tosha kwamba mkaguzi wa hesabu huenda alisema na ripoti kaandikwa, lakini unapofika mashinani, Mheshimiwa Spika, unapata hata msingi peke yake haukujengwa. Hii ni kusema kwamba Mheshimiwa Spika, wakati umefika, kando na kuzingatia vitabu hivi, Wakenya wahusike na wajibike kuhakikisha miradi ambayo imetangazwa ama kandarasi ya Bungoma. Kaunti hii ina Wakenya ambao ni wachapakazi, Wakenya ambao ni waadilifu, Wakenya ambao wanamcha Mungu, na Wakenya ambao wanajivunia kaunti yao. Mheshimiwa Spika, ukienda katika hospitali ya kiwango cha 4 kule Sirisia, eneo bunge la Sirisia, Mheshimiwa Spika, hospitali kubwa imejengwa ya ghorofa. Mheshimiwa Spika, sasa inapita miaka 5 haijakamilika. Hospitali hii haina maeneo ya majitaka na mahali ambapo uchafu wa hospitali utawekwa. Kisha donda sugu la hospitali hiyo na ilhali kandarasi ilipewa mwanakandarasi anajulikana na majibu hawapewi watu wa area hiyo. Hospitali ya kiwango cha 4 kule Bumula, Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo ni lile lile. Maji hayapo, wadi ambazo zimo hazina vitanda, maji taka hayajulikani yataenda.
Are you out of data? Muthui Solutions Hub brings you amazing data deals, tunukiwa, minutes and SMS deals purchased with or without Okoa Jahazi. To get these deals, reach our 24/7 support at 0719 289 675.